Welcome, roller derby fans. This is game of round 2 of 5x5. And we are about to go into the game against Inner West.
And the Northern Beaches.
Oh, and Northern Beaches. And I should probably introduce myself. I am Boxing the Offside.
And I'm the Fat Jack Protocol. I think both our pronouns are they, them.
Yes, that's correct. So before we get started, we'll run through the teams. On Inner West, we've got Chick Dastardly, Crash, Killer Mockingbird, Mollytop, Jigglypuff, Corrigan Damsel, Sash Rash, Blue Riot, Killer Cat, Banshee, Salvador Gnarly, River, Triptease, Dirty Guy, and Winesaw.
Taking a look down the Northern Beaches Roller Derby League Sirens list, we have 050 Monumental, 07 Ruby Whipper, 101 Serious Juker, 124 Mad Menace, number 15 Bruise and Ivy, number 210 Metallicas, number 29 Wani Winder, number 36 Double Dutch, 4077 is Hot Whips, number 6 is French, number 67 is Denied, number 83 is Cat Ace Traffic, Cat Ace Traffic, that's going to be a mouthful in that one, and number 88 Schizo, and number 99 Bombshell, yeah, that's it. That officials list is incorrect. We're not going to read it. I have the correct one on my phone, though, so we'll get to that one in a little while. It looks like we're just about to get Derby started. 26 seconds on the time to Derby clock.
And a lovely little jammer hug to start us off there. Looks like we've got Blue Riot on the line for Inner West. And 101 Serious Juker for Northern Beaches.
Now, it might be game 2, round 2 of 5x5 here, but it's actually only the second game of 5x5 this year. We had a washout for round 1. We
did. Unusual for an indoor sport.
But it does happen. The Velodrome does have a leaky roof, and it prevented play about a month ago for 5x5 round 1 2025. So we are here. The tournament has been rejigged, and we are underway once and for all. Game 2 about to have the first whistle of the day. We had game 1 earlier. All these games, of course, going out on Apex TV. They will be uploaded during the week, so you won't be watching this one live, but you will catch us during the week.
Shout out to Apex TV. They do some excellent work. We were also at the Extravaganza last weekend. Everybody looks ready here. Our packs are coming back onto the line, and we're off. First jam, game 2.
Inner West Jam are taken to the outside of the track at the front of the pack. One blocker to go. Finds their way out of the pack. Is awarded lead jammer.
And we've got Serious Juker chasing Lou down.
About a quarter of a track between the jammers as they approach the back of the engagement zone.
And it looks like Lou got the points there and was able to call it off before our Northern Beaches was able to stack on any points.
Just going to back some of those levels off. I think we're getting a bit too much background noise in there. So
background noise, yeah. We've got 210 on the line for Northern Beaches, up against Crash and Burn for Inner West. Crash and Burn chucking themselves through that wall.
Northern Beaches, though, comes out first. Lead jammer for Metallicas.
Crash and Burn is chasing and manages to overtake, forcing Northern Beaches to call the jam.
0-0 jam, their second jam of the day of the game.
And quick shout out to Madtrix. He's one of our outside pack referees today. This is his first game. And I know he was very nervous and very excited, and I hope he's having a great time.
Oh, look at these. Once you get out there in stripes for the first time, it kind of disappears a little bit, those nerves, and you just have fun. That's what roller derby is about at the end of the day, is having fun, and that's why we all do it.
And there's also a lot to watch, so plenty to distract you from your nerves while you're out there. And we've got Inner West with lead jammer coming around now to score some points. And listening to their bench, who told them to call it off before that other jammer came around to score points. Three points for Inner West there, 0 for Northern Beaches. And we've got Killer Knockingbird on the jam line for Inner West. Up against Catastrophic for Northern Beaches. Oh, both jammers managed to exit the pack almost at the same time. Catastrophic is right on the heels of Killer Knockingbird. And jam is called 0 for 0. You can see how many points a jammer scores each pass by the number of fingers that the referee will be holding up. They are signalling to the scorekeepers in the box over by the scoreboard there.
All right, I think I have fixed our production volume. So back to commentating.
And we've got Chick Dastardly up against Sirius Duker. Sirius Duker pushing at the back there. Chick Dastardly off for a penalty. We'll spend 30 seconds in the penalty box. This is a great chance for Northern Beaches to try and score some points.
Northern Beaches jammer approaching the engagement zone, comes to the inside of the track, finds a bit of traffic at the inside there, but finds a path through. Is that the 5th point held up by the jammer ref there for that pass?
I believe so, yeah. Jammer gets hit to the outside and decides to call it off. So our jammer for Inner West is now frozen in the penalty box. It looks like they may only have about 10 seconds to go. It is possible to come out of the box and still score lead jammer. But we will see how quickly Metallicus gets through the pack. Oh, looks like we're having an official timeout.
This official timeout could be brought to you by someone. You need to get in touch with Apex TV if that lucky person is you.
Your name could be here.
So welcome to the mic, Moxie, and how was your last weekend first time stream commentating?
It was great. I had a really good time. I hope it was,
I thoroughly enjoyed the call. I did listen to it later, and probably not quite as often as I've listened to Mendo and I call the final game of the weekend, but I always do like looking back over a game, listening to myself, and trying to improve it a little bit. So
all right, looks like we're timed back in again.
Inner West still in the penalty box with their jammer. Oh no, I was right. Yes, sorry.
And Inner West jammer is now being released from the penalty box, but lead jam has been awarded to Northern Beaches.
Inner West approaching the engagement zone, still have an initial pass to make before eligible for any points though.
Both jammers coming around now. Looks like Northern Beaches has lead. That means they have the power to call the jam off whenever they're ready. They find a nice gap on the outside and manage to make it through pretty easily. Looks like Northern Beaches are trying to run this one long so that they can try and stack on as many points as they can. Although both jammers seem to be scoring pretty consistently. And again, a lovely gap on the outside for the Northern Beaches jammer. And a gap on the inside for Inner West.
Highest point scoring jam this one. Looks like we have 12 points for Inner West, 16 for Northern Beaches, plus whatever we've got in the air right now.
Official timeout after that one. We've got to count all those points.
We've run out of fingers for both teams.
So it looks like 12 points to 20 on that last jam in favour of Northern Beaches. We've got Lou Riot getting ready to jam against 111 Van Diemen. Van Diemen pushing up the front. Manages to escape the pack and earn themselves lead jammer status.
In West Jammer, however, in the pack still, recycled to the back of the pack, takes the inside line, is out now, is able to score points on their next pass. However, Northern Beaches is out, picked up the 5 points there. Nope, 4 points there. Approaching the engagement zone, decides to call it off though, reducing any risk of damage there.
May have left it slightly too late. I think there was 2 points picked up at the back there. And again, we've got one blocker apiece in the penalty box at the beginning of this jam. And another quick official timeout just to make sure that paperwork all matches.
Our Game 2 officials are on the inside of the pack. Head referee Claire Rule. Claire Rule, yep. IPR is redacted. And I keep on resizing the image on my phone, unable to read it, don't I? Velvet Whiplash, Shellstar is a jammer ref. Candy is the other jammer ref. Penalty OPR. Suffocate and Matrix joining them at the OPR. The alt is Killer Tits. And then we have a bunch of NSOs. They are Messi, Dr. Riot, Switzerland, Payne, Leo Slayer, even Kevin, Seth Lord, Carnix, and Bellows.
Thank you to all of our NSOs for being here today. We can't do it without you. Jam is on. Looking at a little bit of jammer on jammer action here. Crash and burn funneling catastrophic into that wall before taking off and gaining lead jammer.
Crash and burn already a full lap around in the engagement zone as the Northern Beaches jammer comes out ready to pick up points. Crash and burn calls it off though, picks up the 4 points.
Classic hit it and quit it strategy.
Nothing wrong with nickel and dime dirty.
Nothing at all. Bread and butter.
Scores are currently Inner West on 27 points. Beaches are on 32.
And we have Triptease lining up against Sirius Duca on the jam line. Looks like the box is clear. Everyone's on the track. And that was not our whistle.
Yes, to ignore the hooter. I think we're getting ready to start those 5 seconds again. All kinds of different noises going off here at Niagara Park on the Central Coast, Court 1.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of noise. It's a messy time, but that's okay. We're having a good time.
And it looks like we are back in a timeout situation. All right, rolling whistle gets us back underway. Inner West Jammer first off the mark at the whistle. Finds some trapped on the outside of the pack though. Caught right up in it as the wall reforms around them. Pivot penalty for the Beaches though. Just a triangular free wall at the back of the pack there, keeping the Northern Beaches Jammer from engaging in the pack at all. Meanwhile, Inner West is out, ready to pick up points.
Sorry, I got distracted watching Claire there. Holstering those guns.
Beaches Jammer approaching the pack. Jam gets called off. There might have been one set of hips.
2 points.
2 points, in fact.
Scores are very close together currently. We've got 34 to 31. And Metallica's lining up on the jam line up against Killer Mockingbird. Sorry.
And straight down the outside for Inner West. Lead Jammer straight off the mark.
Lovely little dance up the outside line there to earn lead jammer. Northern Beaches Jammer has now exited the pack. Northern Beaches now coming around on their first scoring pass. Both jammers now scoring points. Northern Beaches makes it out of the pack first. Now Inner West are calling off the jam. I believe that will be a 4-4. Yep.
Scores are still super close on this one. Both in the mid-30s. We'll just wait for the final jam points for this jam to go up on the board.
Chick Dastardly lining up against Van Diemen on the jam line.
35 points for Inner West Roller Derby League plays 38 for the Beaches in front now of Inner West on 35. 3 points in it. That's not very much in it at all, is it?
Not at all. That's one good jam. Got the full complement of blockers on the track. Nobody in the bin currently.
These two leagues, with a little bit of history, in fact, both formed around the same time. Not too many months apart. But yeah, Inner West was only a young league when Northern Beaches came onto the scene. So yeah, both got a fair bit of experience now. Both been around for just on a decade. It's strange to say that some of these newer leagues, for those of us who've been around for a lot longer,
a long time,
some of these newer leagues that we consider new leagues have been part of the community now for a decade.
Yeah, isn't that strange? I have not thought about it before, but yes, I do consider Inner West to be one of the newer leagues, but they've been around for a long time.
Northern Beaches Jammer recycled all the way to the back of the pack. Looks like someone's picked up a cut there. Wasn't quite sure who it was caught against. Yes, it was the Northern Beaches Jammer, who will be making their way to the penalty box right now.
So that gives us a power jam for Inner West. Good chance for them to get some points and maybe put a bit of space between them and Northern Beaches.
Beaches with this solo focus of just defence manages to hold back the Inner West Jammer a fair bit there. A little bit of effort and they come out ready to pick up points now.
You can see the Inner West blockers there, standing back, letting their jammer push through. It's a passive offence strategy. And Chick Dastardly earns the 4 points. Northern Beaches Jammer is now back on the track, has completed initial.
We have had another lead change though. Inner West on 39 now points, now playing 38.
And Inner West calling that jam with 8 points.
So a couple more to add to that tally, pulling them further in front, making it a 43-point tally now for the Inner West Banshees.
We've only got 2 Northern Beaches blockers on the track. That's great news for Lou Riot, who is lining up as jammer for Inner West.
Catastrophic, is it, for the Beaches there, number 83.
Sure is. Lou found a beautiful gap on the outside and was able to slip through the lead jammer.
Catastrophic, finding that three wheel in the back of the pack, keeping them right at the back there. I don't think there's been any hips passed yet. Being drawn back a bit by the Inner West pivot and attempting to make it through on the initial pass once again. Re-enters the track legally behind the pack once again. Helmet star comes off. Looks like a star pass has been made. Your new jammer is... Is it denied?
Let's see their number. 07.
07. No, it's Ruby Whipper.
Ruby Whipper. And I know as a pivot, when you receive that star, all you want to do is get the heck out of there.
Now for you, Moxie, is it the star or the stripe, or would you rather just be a blocker?
I do really enjoy doing offense, but I don't enjoy when my offense doesn't work and then I have to take the star. But it's good motivation to do effective offense.
So there's a hint for everybody playing along with Moxie. Make sure you do your O right.
Exactly.
Bernie once again, star on head for Inner West, trying to push their way through the middle. Blockers are going everywhere.
Bit of carnage on the track there.
Jammer for the Beaches, though, taking a seat in the penalty box. Power jam for Inner West and Bernie.
Crash and Burn strikes me as quite a fiery jammer. A lot of energy going into that pack. And a lot of force too.
Once again, Crash and Burn heading the pack. Making the crash happen as they do.
Luckily, not too much burn.
Oh, it looks like Crash and Burn is on her way to the penalty box as well, though. Beaches jammer was already standing, so they'll have to serve their full time as well. It didn't quite look like a Jack in the Box to me. I think the Beaches jammer had fully been released as Crash and Burn took the seat.
I believe it was pretty close. Northern Beaches doing some excellent O there, pinning the Inner West blockers to the inside line so that their jammer could make their way through. Coming back around for another pass. Northern Beaches are reformed at the back there, trying to catch Crash and Burn, but Crash and Burn is not having it.
One of the smoothest passes of Crash and Burn this jam so far. The last couple of passes have resulted in a bit of carnage on the track, but no penalty, or one penalty out of that carnage too.
No contact penalties though, so what that means is that the referees have not seen any illegal contact occur. If people are falling over, it could be for many different reasons, not necessarily illegal contact.
So it looks like on the scoreboard, Inner West has had a chat in one of those timeouts, just regrouped a little bit and managed to pull the lead away a little more. Certainly those larger point jams there from Crash and Burn, the last couple of jams that she's been on, have made a big difference there.
Still well and truly within reach though.
Anything can happen in a game of roller derby, and likely does.
We've got number 6-5 on the gem line, Trip Tees, lined up for Inner West. And we've got a pivot in the box for Northern Beaches. Team's just having a little bit of a chat, bit of a strategize, coming up with a plan.
Not seeing a jammer for the Beaches at the moment. And that seat does appear to be empty in the penalty box, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
We do need them to play the game.
We are in a team timeout, so assuming it's a Beaches team timeout, it looks like the jam timer here is pointing at the Beaches bench.
Yep, here comes our jammer.
So a breather or a little bit of strategizing? Your thoughts, Moxie?
I think probably maybe after those last couple of high-scoring jams, it was probably not a bad idea just to take a breather and regroup a little bit. It can be very easy to let things get out of hand. Sometimes you just need to slow down.
61 for Inner West Roller Derby League, playing 47 for the Northern Beaches. 13 minutes and 5 seconds left here in period 1. Game 2, round 2, 5x5, 2025. Looks like we are out of team timeout, straight into official timeout.
There have been quite a few delays in this game.
Thankfully, it's not like round ball football where you add those delays onto the clock at the end of the period. So, yeah, there always seems to be a mysterious number came up with by the fourth official in soccer.
No, we don't miss out on any roller derby here. We get as much roller derby as we possibly can in the time allotted.
Along with the habit of trying to cram as many games into a single day as absolutely possible when we do come together to play roller derby.
Normally we would only do 3 games in a day, but because we had to make up for round 1 being cancelled, we're doing 4 games each round. It's a lot of derby. Alright, sounds like we might be ready to get underway.
Yeah, referees taking their positions once again, pack forming. Looks like we have 2 bundles of blockers. They had just split at the end there, but looks like Northern Beach's strategy was to cause a little bit of glitter, shake up the pack a little bit and distract a little bit. Wasn't a successful strategy for them. Inner West is your lead jammer.
And we've got Sirius Duca still stuck in the pack there, working hard to get past and being dragged back by number 142, Warragamba Damsel.
And Inner West on a scoring pass, picking up some points on the first scoring pass. On another one, that first scoring pass straight around the outside, barely touched by an opposing blocker. Much the same once again for Trip Tees.
Lovely little bit of footwork up the inside line there.
There's absolutely no teasing about these scoring trips. Beaches are out, I think, and now on a scoring pass. This would be the first time a Northern Beaches jammer has exited the engagement zone. Inner West is back in there, not going to risk any points at all on this one. Going to keep that lead extending jam by jam.
I think Trip Cheese was having a little bit of trouble getting through the pack there, so decided to call it off before there was any risk of giving away points.
And taking a quick look at the points per jam, it has been fairly even for Inner West across the entire game. A couple of jams pointless there in the early phases of the game, but since then it's been a solid couple of points per jam.
We've got Catastrophic up against Killer Mockingbird again. Bit of carnage on the track there, bodies are down. Catastrophic coming back, resetting and re-entering at the back.
Beaches jammer, however, finding traffic at the back of the pack. Initially a free wall of Inner West blockers keeping them at bay. They are now out of the pack though, eligible to pick up points.
Mockingbird now ready to score some points on this pass.
A little bit of Beaches traffic, stopping Mockingbird there on the inside, steps to the outside, finds a path through.
Here's the call from their bench asking them to call it off. Listening to your bench is super important. Being on the track, you can't see everything all at once. So having that extra set of eyes from the bench telling you when the jam is coming is very, very useful.
Fellow friends and family.
Full set of blockers. Nobody's in the bin currently. We've got Chick Dastardly and Van Diemen.
Van Diemen takes the outside. Chick Dastardly, however, takes the inside. Doesn't find much resistance. Is your lead jammer of record for this jam. Beaches finds a gap on the inside as well, helped by their offensive blockers. Inner West picking up points now. At least 2 or 3 hits passed already. Beaches jammer is in the pack and also picking up points just as the Inner West jammer notices it, calls off the jam.
Looks like 2 points there at the end for Northern Beaches. the full 4 for Inner West.
49 points for the Beaches, and now playing 81 for Inner West. So Inner West has taken this from a couple of point game at around the 40 mark, 35 to 40 mark, where it was very close. They've now doubled the score in just the last few jams. That's just showing how much a game of roller derby can change very quickly.
They've done some really good work to put some distance between themselves and Northern Beaches.
Both,
Riot at the back of the pack here, struggling to push through.
both jammers caught up in the same traffic, both taken to the outside of the track together, both recycled all the way back. Beaches has a little shorter distance to go back thanks to one of their blockers just making sure that was the place. Looks like we might have a... no cut awarded there.
Pass through a penalty.
Beaches lead jammer ready to pick up points. This is exactly the kind of gem that Northern Beaches need at this point in the game. Put some points back up on the board, put them back in it before half time rolls around, about 8 minutes away. Inner West Jammer is now eligible to pick up points as well, though. Coming to the back of the pack, Northern Beaches decides to call it off, reducing any chance of damage there from the Inner West Jammers.
Great track awareness there, calling it off right as that Inner West Jammer hit the back of the pack, but before they were able to score any points.
Northern Beaches bringing their total now to 53 points, playing 81 for your Inner West Roller Derby League Banshees.
And we've got Crash and Burn ready to jam for Inner West. Inner West.
Crash and Burn with a rolling start coming from the back of the jammer line, rolling towards the jammer line. Both jammers in traffic once again.
Serious Duke has got that triangle moving very quickly.
Crash and Burn forced to restart from the very back of the pack. A great draw back there from the Northern Beaches. Both jammers are out of the pack now. Lead jammer is Northern Beaches.
Oh, but Crash and Burn is focused on getting it.
Both jammers hit the pack. Looks like Crash and Burn passed all the hips. Northern Beaches had two.
That looked like a no-touch pass for Crash and Burn.
I don't think there was no touches on either jammer in that one. Both jammers still side by side as they approach the engagement zone once again. Crash and Burn taking the outside steps to the inside. He's taken down to the middle of the pack. Back up from their knees now. Steps around to the inside, steps around to the outside, is now clear of the pack. Beach is still in some traffic at the rear though.
I think it's a really good idea for Northern Beaches to spread out these Inner West packs. The more chaos that they can cause, the better.
6 minutes and 35 seconds left of the period. 89 points for the Inner West Roller Derby League Banshees. Northern Beaches Roller Derby League Sirens on 61 points, so they are putting themselves back in at just a couple of points at a time.
And it looks like Crash and Burn is taking a seat in the penalty box. They must have earned themselves a penalty right at the end of that last jam.
Power start for the Northern Beaches.
Catastrophic.
Full complement of blockers on the track for both teams. Only missing the one jammer for the jam start. And no. It looks like Crash and Burn has just been asked to leave the penalty box, and a jammer for Inner West has entered the track.
Knockingbird.
Killer Knockingbird. So that was not a penalty to Crash and Burn.
It was not. It was almost a penalty.
Knockingbird up on their toe stops, ready to start the jam. Steps to the outside of the track, is knocked out straight away, I think by one of their own blockers.
Two very, very different jamming styles here too. Knockingbird is very light and airy, whereas Cats is very much a set and forget.
Our light and airy jammer, though, was out first. Is your lead jammer, is approaching the engagement zone. A wall of four at the back of the pack they come up straight up against. Step to the inside, they picked up all the points except for a back block in the middle of it.
No, they are in the box, so Cat has a good chance here to score some points. can see all of the Inner West blockers there swarming on Kath.
Multiplayer block awarded to Inner West there, opening the pack up for Cap to get through.
Inner West setting up at the back there, giving Kath some room to move. And Kath pushes out the front. Beautiful. Just sturdy and dependable.
30 seconds has elapsed for Knocking Bird back in the pack already.
Knocking Bird receiving some excellent O there from their pivot.
Still not enough to disrupt the Beaches' wall of teal at the front of the pack.
Knocking Bird has just one to beat at the front. Oh, and gets reabsorbed. Now has to fight their way past all those blockers again.
Cat now in the engagement zone, picking up points. At least two there that I can see hips past already. A little bit of traffic on the inside of the track. Finds their way to the outside. Pops out and looks like they picked up their 4 points. Knocking Bird in the engagement zone now, dancing around blockers at the rear of the pack. Steps around the outside. Looks like they've picked up their 4 as well.
We've got one blocker for Northern Beaches in the box. And that's the end of the jam. Looks like that was a 16-point jam.
97 points, playing at 77. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the period clock. Did I just hear yet another timeout whistle?
I think so.
Official review. Should I head in and find out what this review is all about?
Would you like me? I can. Yeah, okay.
All right, Moxie's on their way to the middle to find out what this official review is all about. You can follow Moxie with those amazing wings there into the centre. Of course, 2 more games of roller derby coming up for you today.
Oh yes, she also used to jam for SRDL. And she is an OG founding member for S2G2, so you want to get around
We have a little bit of almost dancing from our Germans on the start line here as we wait for some kind of idea of what this official review is all about, or is it just a team timeout? My guess is it's probably been used as a team timeout. But let's find out. Moxie is back from the centre with those amazing wings on.
All right. It sounds like Inner West are seeking a back block or a forearms penalty that was committed against their jammer.
All right. Did they know who it was that had committed the back block?
They did, but I was not able to hear which number.
Okay. I had actually stood before you came back. I had a feeling this might have been just a team timeout being used at this point. However, no, a legitimate reason for an official review here.
Look, sometimes it can be a little bit of a team timeout and you just,
Finding a reason. Yeah.
yeah, give it a go. See what happens. Why not?
There's that horn again.
It's not part of our circus.
Massive shout out again to all our officials, all our volunteers that put today on. We could not do it without any of you who are as important as the skaters in this sport.
And thank you to our hosts, Central Coast Roller Derby United. They've got a beautiful venue here, lovely floor.
This has been one of my favourite venues, and it's mostly not using it today, but at the very top behind us is Crow's. And it is a great get a camera up there. Looks like we're getting a little bit of glitch on this, so might need to have a look at that.
I didn't even realise there was a crow's nest. There you go. I learned something today. It looks like we're ready to go. Chick and Van Diemen on the jam line. Blockers are stuck up to the pivot lines. Demon stuck at the back against that triangle. And Chick takes lead. Northern Beach is not too far behind. Inner West looking to score points and call. That's exactly what they've.
And that is 3 versus 0. And this is with that.
We've got at least 2 blocks there in the penalty box. Northern Beaches. Good news for Lou Wright, which means we only have to get past 2. Hopefully score lead. And looks like we're having a special timeout. Currently 100 points for Inner West, leading 77 Northern Beaches. And there's time in. Checks off. Lou Riot manages to break out very quickly. Coming around for their scoring pass. Oh, beautiful. Scored those points nice quick, switched those hips around and called it off.
Congratulations, you get a 30-second set.
We've got about 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this game. Stuka to jam against Crash and Burn. Crash and Burn caught up in that Northern Beaches wall at the back, pushing through, and a little hop to get out.
About 1:30 left on both clocks here, so we probably won't have time. Oh, we will if it gets called off, though.
It will. Again, another 4-point pass there. Solid hit it and quit it strategy. One lone blocker in the box for Inner West.
Killer Knockingbird once again for Inner West. Steps to the outside, pushing up against those blockers from the Beaches. Finds a way past.
And Catastrophic makes it through the pack as well.
About halfway lap between the two Germans here as a Knockingbird approaches the back of the pack, steps past their own blockers, finds a little bit of traffic in the form of Beaches blockers at the front. Couple of whistles blown.
Looks like we may have a track cut call on Knockingbird. Yep.
Power jam for the Beaches. Final jam of the period as the period
jammer
clock.
swap. We've got Catastrophic in the penalty box now, which means that our Inner West jammer has been released.
And this jam will go for its full 2 minutes with 10 seconds left on the period clock. It will be our final jam of the period. 108 points, playing 77 currently. Little barge at the front of the pack. Killer Knockingbird straight out, picks up some points.
Catastrophic has now also returned to the track after serving a shortened penalty. Knockingbird goes down in the middle of the pack. And we have had a star pass, Northern Beaches.
Candy holding up another 4 points for Inner West though.
Our jammer is now Bruisin' Ivy.
Knockingbird steps around the blockers on the outside of the pack. All 3 of them passed. One blocker in the penalty box. All 4 points picked up again. 12-point jam for Inner West. Exactly what they're looking for going into the half. 15 seconds left on the jam clock. As the Inner West pivot takes a seat in the penalty box, Knockingbird gets recycled to the very back of the pack.
Ivy having some trouble pushing through those blockers there. Fair enough. That's a pretty solid triangle. And they look relieved that the jam has been called. At the full 2 minutes, and we are now at halftime.
That jam being the biggest jam for Inner West of the period.
It's a good one.
As you can see across our points per jam chart, the Beaches pretty solid across the day. A few big ones in there for the Beaches. But the thing that's really affecting the game for the Beaches is just the lack of stars along that line. Not enough lead jammer calls. Moxie, if you were benching them, what would you be saying to them at halftime for the Northern Beaches?
I think that I would be rejigging my strategy a little bit, maybe focusing on offense off the line, trying to secure that lead jammer position, because it is very important, as we can see.
Glitter, right? Get in there and cause a bit of havoc off the line. Play that, that havoc offense.
Cause chaos.
And I think if I was talking to Inner West, I would kind of say, keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. The jams that you can pick up the big points, keep doing it. The jams that you're just staying, just those 4 a time, keep doing that as well. It's not going wrong for you.
No, they seem to be doing very well.
Well, Moxie, it's been an absolute pleasure. We've got a 10-minute break.
Awesome.
So let's go and enjoy that. And we'll be back with everybody it's a 15-minute break. We'll be back with everybody sooner than you know, because we're going to edit out the halftime later.
Yeah. Welcome back. We are returning for the second half. We've just had a lovely spirited game of koala toss.
It did seem quite exciting there. Certainly some close throws towards the end, I saw.
And that one is to raise money for our Team Australia Juniors.
And of course you can find, actually I'm not sure where to find that one, but I am sure 5x5 will put a link out at some point soon to promote the fundraising for our Team Australia Juniors. If not, Apex TV certainly will.
Getting a lot of feedback. Can hear myself.
You should be able to hear yourself. That's your volume.
That's better. Yeah, that's 20 seconds until we're ready to play Derby again.
In West Roller Derby League playing Northern Beaches, again as we covered in the first half, a rivalry that goes back just on a decade now as 2 new leagues in the region. It has been a close game through the first half up until about 10 minutes to go when Inner West really started pulling that lead in front. 124 plays 79 now. Inner West has kept up that couple of points per jam, take advantage of the opportunities they get and put those points on in those opportunities. It has been a game of lead jammer, and that is pretty much the only reason Inner West have the larger score. They've gotten more leads, and without lead you don't have the control you need to call it off when you want and limit the damage. So
That's it. They've been nice and consistent, and you can see that reflected in their score.
okay, Roller Derby fans, referees are in place. Jam timer is standing near the pivot line. It looks like action is about to get underway here at Niagara Park Indoor Stadium.
So we've got 2-8, Blue Riot, and
2 on 3.
Metallicas.
2-1-10. Yeah.
Metallicas for Beaches. Waiting patiently for this first whistle, as we all are. Excitement building here at Niagara Park.
We like to build the suspense. We've got a couple of people in the penalty box, 2 for Northern Beaches and the pivot for Inner West.
Reduced blockers on the track. Northern Beaches deciding to play one on either side of the track. That's always an interesting tactic when there's only 2 of you. I'd personally prefer the middle of the track there when there's only 2, but let's see what they do with it.
Generally, when there's only 2 of you, you want to stick together, but they may be looking to run some offense off the line.
Yeah, that would be exactly what I'd want to be doing on this jam. I don't really want to push from the outside. My jammer has got a great line. If I could just cause a little bit of chaos on the outside there and create a path for my jammer through, Metallicas would definitely be taking that path if a slight hint of it appears.
I think it's a smart play focusing on offense in this jam, because you're much less likely to catch the jammer as a 2-wall. So if they can get their jammer through first, then they are in control.
Okay, we are really ready to get underway here. Switch. Oh, here we go. 5 seconds is up. Jam timer ready to blow the whistle. Whistle is blown. No luck getting a gap on the outside there. Both jammers are stuck in traffic. Inner West jammer does take advantage of a hole on the outside though. Picks up lead jammer already.
Northern Beaches jammer is not too far behind.
Inner West slips through the inside of the pack there. Still only the 2 blockers to worry about, and the blockers from Inner West were causing enough havoc in the pack to make that path clear. Once again, the all-important lead jammer going to Inner West, something they've been maintaining throughout the first half, something I expect to see continue at this point. Beaches do need to just change that lead jammer status stat a little bit in their favour to come back into this at this stage.
Yeah, it'd be great to see a few more lead jammers for Northern Beaches.
I think we have is that Hot Whips or no?
101, Serious Juka.
Up against Crash and Burn for Inner West. Crash and Burn got a wall of 2 at the front of the pack, pushing on those blockers, finds a way through. The 3 of them go down in the heap though at the front of the pack. 2 of them go down in a heap at the front of the pack.
Serious Juka knocked to the in of the apex, still working their way through.
Crash and Burn did pick up the 4 points there from that pass though. Ready to pick up some more. Northern Beaches in traffic in the pack, still not eligible to score points.
A little hop, skip and a jump around the blocker there for Crash and Burn.
Serious Juka
is chasing them down.
Did make easy work of that, putting the pace on the lap to get into the scoring position. Don't think there was any opposing hips passed there by them though. Nope, jam referee Candy holding up the donuts there for Beaches. Official review goes up here at the venue. Did you want to go for a run this time, Moxie, or should I? Okay, Moxie is off on a run to the middle to find out what's going on. If you're just joining us here for the second half of Game 2, Round 2, 2025, 5x5, in West Roller Derby League, R00 Chick Dastardly, 010 Crash, 04 Killer Knockingbird, 11 Molotov, 13 Jiggly Buff, 142 Aurora Gamba Damsel, 145 Sash Rash, number 28 New Riot, number 32 Killer Cat, number 404 Banshee, number 44 Salvador Gnarly, number 47 River, number 65 Trip Tease, number 927 Dirty Die, and number 99 Winosaur. Welcome back, Moxie, from the centre. What news have you got for us?
So Northern Beaches are seeking a forearms penalty on the jammer from the last jam. And yeah, that's it.
Power move from Northern Beaches then. That would put them in a power start situation, which is exactly the kind of jam they need at this point to just reduce that differential just a little bit and put them way back in the game.
As you can see, the refs are deliberating, having a little chat, figuring out what they saw.
They have to be absolutely sure of this. They didn't see it as it happened, or at least didn't feel the need to call it as it happened. So any change of that decision is going to need some serious agreement from the referees in this situation. So it's a big claim from Beaches, but if it does come out in their favour, worth it.
Worth it, absolutely. And we'll see what the refs decide. This is why it's so difficult to win an official review, though, because the refs do have eyes on just about everything. So if you're trying to say, hey, you didn't see this, usually they did.
Yeah, and especially when you have the calibre of officiating we have here today, it's yeah, I'm seeing a lot of deliberation out there, a little bit of nodding, a little bit of pointing. I definitely can't read the room out there. Those stripy ones of the zebras are all straight-faced with the exception of just the occasional head movement.
They do keep their cards close to their chest.
The official review dance happening here on the jam start on the pivot line from our jam timer. Officials have broken the huddle and they are reporting the results. I don't see any change in the situation. Head referee is over with the team bench managers though. This one at least should be an easy one for the tell the result of. Either Crash and Burn stands up and takes a seat in the penalty box, and our jammer in the star for Inner West in front of us, who I can't see a number of, they take a seat back on the bench, or they don't. That's basically how we're telling the result of this review, and at this stage it looks like it was not retained.
But you never know unless you ask. We've got Trip Tees on the line for Inner West.
French steps to the outside. He's taken to the outside of the pack. I think this is the first jam we've seen French jamming for the Beaches. Trip Tees taken down to the outside of the pack. Is able to step back on though. So the blocker must have gone out of play as well in that situation. 5 points put up by the jam ref there. French is back around in a scoring pass now, ready to pick up points. Jam is called off before they can again. No further points added to the Beaches total. 79 on the scoreboard for them. 135 for Inner West. So Inner West, since that 30-40 point even game we had, Inner West have now put on double the Beaches.
Done a really great job of playing basic bread and butter derby, that hit and quit it.
And taking advantage of the big ones when you get them put on a plate to you.
Definitely, but just 4 points at a time. If you keep doing that consistently, you can get to where you want to be.
I think Glam is our official track repairer this morning. Haven't seen her out on the track yet for this game. Must have been a quick repair at half-time, I'm sure, before the koala toss.
To be fair, Glam does get distracted easily, so that may be what happened.
Inner West is out, is your lead jammer. A little bit of traffic for Van Diemen in the pack. They are also out now, eligible to score some points as Inner West hits the engagement zone, picking up those points already. Hips are past one blocker, two blockers.
Knockingbird calls it off from the middle of the pack.
Couple of points up in the air for Northern Beaches, a couple for Inner West as well. 79 points for the Beaches, 139 for Inner West. 25 minutes left on the period clock.
All of our blockers are on the track. The penalty box is clear. And we've got Chick Dastardly lining up against Catastrophic again. Inner West potentially going for a squish off the line. Once the 5 seconds gets called, you can roll yourself backwards on top of the other pack.
Exactly as you suggested. As the 5 seconds go up they come. One floating blocker ready to cause havoc from Inner West. Inner West jammer caught up in a triangle at the back. Does find a gap on the outside. Kath, however, got traffic in the pack. Looks like a full set of 3-4 blockers to pass once again. I'm not sure how many of those blockers she's already passed. Inner West, however, a little skip jump across the inside line there, picks up the first set of points in the jam.
And now the jammers are right next to each other. And a call off right there. I'm not sure if any points came of it. Not that I can see. Nope, 0 for 0.
0-0, certainly better for Northern Beaches at this point than losing further points to the differential, putting Inner West further ahead. Look, anything could still happen. I've seen plenty of 30-point jams in this game. All it would take is a power jam for Northern Beaches that they capitalise every moment of, and they are solidly back in this game. Jam starts. We have
Blue Riot out the front, earning lead jammer, sorry.
Beaches once again caught up in that Inner West defence. The Inner West defence has definitely been the cause of that lead jammer status for Inner West. Without that defence from their blockers, they wouldn't be holding these Germans back. They wouldn't be getting leads so frequently. Beaches are now out of the pack, ready to pick up points. Not lead jammer. Another 4 points goes up for Inner West and call off the jam before Beaches can add any more to the total.
Pivot for Northern Beaches went to the box right at the end there, so we've got one each. Means we'll have 3 blockers on the track for each team.
Inner West.
And we've got Northern Beaches lining up at the front there, looking to do the squish.
Metallicas versus Crash and Burn. Stars on ahead. Crash and Burn takes the outside. Metallicas finds traffic in the back of the pack. Crash and Burn to the outside now. 2 blockers to go. Metallica's still up against the entire contingent of Inner West blockers. Crash and Burn is out. Is your lead jammer for Inner West Roller Derby League. Metallica is now also out of the pack, eligible to pick up points as Crash and Burn approaches the engagement zone, finds those blockers at the back of the pack already, picks up a couple of points before Northern Beaches can get to the engagement zone. Don't think Crash and Burn has noticed that the opposing jammer is already in the pack and picking up points. Not sure how many points to Inner West to Northern Beaches in that one.
There will be a couple of points there at the back for Northern Beaches. Yep.
Yep, jammer referee Candy holding up some fingers there. 79 points on the scoreboard currently for Beaches. I think we're still getting... Yep, we've still got some more to go up. Candy is making sure the scoreboard operators are aware of that. 83 is now the total for Beaches, 153 for Inner West.
2 blockers in the bin for Inner West currently, which is good news. Jammer for Northern Beaches. Knocked out on the out, drawn back.
And jammer for Inner West in traffic, front of the pack. Looks like 3 blockers to go. 2 fall back. Inner West comes out. Is your lead jammer.
Jammers are nice and close.
A little bit of jammer on jammer. Arm action. No actual contact with the arms though, but it looked like they could have been soon.
Sometimes you just get a bit overexcited and just fall over anyway.
0 apiece for that jam. It's exactly the kind of jam you want as Northern Beaches at this point in the game. If you can't come out with more points, everyone coming out with none is better.
If you're not earning them, at least you're not giving them away.
You'd remember that one, Moxie?
I do. That's a very long time ago now.
Mockingbird around the outside is taken down to the outside. Only 1 blocker to go for the Beaches at the front of the pack, but no, they picked up lead jammer, not lead for Inner West. Oh no, lead became available. Looked like there's 2 lead jammers there for a moment to me.
There may have been. I think Kath popped out the front of the pack and picked it up, and maybe the other jam ref wasn't aware.
Massive shout out from the venue crowd here for and in love with roller derby.
Inner West, Chick Dastardly out the front for lead.
Northern Beaches jammer stuck in the middle of the pack, got a 4 wall surrounding them. 1 blocker falls back a little bit and goes down. Inner West takes a hop over them. Inner West jammer taken down to the outside. That's Chick Dastardly is not recycled all the way to the back. Jammer gets the blocker gets back up in order to cause more chaos there.
And Chick Dastardly calls the jam. And that looks like another 4-0.
Again, the kind of jams that Northern Beaches need to prevent at this point in the game. It's that 4-0 that has kept Inner West ticking those points over a few at a time. Hasn't been any major big ones in this period. We'll come back and we'll have a look at the points per jam after this jam.
And we've got French for Northern Beaches.
Lou Riot for Inner West. Lou Riot on against a wall of 4 at the back. They reform around them.
French has earned themselves lead jammer, which is fantastic for them at this stage.
She's making good pace around the pack.
Got plenty of time to score some points.
As Inner West comes out, is also eligible for points now, but I don't think Northern Beaches are going to let them reach the engagement zone. Beaches blocker taken to the outside. Inner West is engaging, steps around outside the track. I'm not sure whether there was any other blockers that went off the track with them. No, there was not. All 4 points go up. Northern Beaches eligible to score points ahead of Inner West at the moment.
Another quick pass. The jammer looked to their bench and the bench signalled that they should run it. So therefore they didn't call it off.
161 points for Inner West Roller Derby League. Playing at 91 for Northern Beaches Roller Derby. For the Sirens, just under 20 minutes left in the period, so plenty of time for this game to really change. Crash and Burn to the outside. Steps past the micro pack that we have out there. Is your lead jammer already?
Those two blockers for Inner West doing a great job of holding up that jammer.
Ruby Whipper was taken to the inside and taken out, but is now also through the pack, is ready to pick up points. He's getting ready to.
One lonely blocker on the track for...
Crash and Burn is out to run down that clock to get all of those blockers out of the penalty box. Only one to go. Doesn't look like it's one of theirs though, so maybe they'll do something about that right now.
Yep, just as you said it, Crash and Burn signalled to call off the jam.
Sometimes that's what the commentator says.
Looks like we've got a Northern Beaches jammer in the bin. No, released. We do have a Northern Beaches jam in the bin. One jam been replaced by another, which may have fouled out.
Hello there, dear viewers. Candy Buns here from Apex TV. I'm very sad to say that the last 17 minutes of this game, the footage continued to deteriorate in quality and the audio was all lost. So rather than making you sit through that, I'm just going to tell you that the final score was 271 to Inner West Roller Derby League and 147 to Northern Beaches Roller Derby. We really appreciate your patience and understanding. We are so grateful that you are hypothetically watching this, and we have plans to become more stable and continue to improve, and I hope that you continue with us as we do those things. Thank you so much for watching this video, and tell your friends. I mean, maybe don't tell them about this video, but yes, thank you so much. It means a lot to us watching and listening to this.